Welcome to Girls Gone Hallmark, a Hallmark review podcast. I'm Megan, and I'm a longtime Hallmark movie fan.
I'm Wendy. I'm a former Hallmark hater.
Today, we are back with, I do believe, our very first returning interview guest.
Yes.
I know. Isn't that exciting?
Yeah.
If you want to talk about how excited you are about this interview, please follow us on Instagram. We have 2 accounts. We are Girls Gone Hallmark, which is, of course, all things Hallmark, and Megan and Wendy.
Come jump into our Facebook group, Girls Gone Hallmark. I'm going to leave a link in our show notes. The people there are going to lose their mind, I think.
They're gonna love it. And of course, you can always email us, girlsgonehallmark@gmail.com. So I know everyone's dying to know who's here. This episode is available on video on YouTube if you'd like to watch the entire thing. But if you're listening, we are super thrilled to welcome back to the show Crystal Lowe. We fell in love with her as Rita during Sign Sealed Deliver Summer.
Did you?
Are you kidding? Do you remember my shirt?
I do. I feel like I went from zero to hero. Like and now I'm like the returning guest. I have my own shirt. I'm wondering now, like, are you only bringing me back because you got the shirt? So you're like, I got to get at least a double dose out of it. Like, you know what I mean? You have it, so we got to get at least 2 clear reasons.
Well, I was like, are you going to wear the shirt? She's like, I don't want to scare her away.
Could you imagine if I'm sitting here wearing it?
Wearing like 12 of your face.
Listen, the actor narcissist in me is like, do it. I love it. Years and years ago, I'll tell you something really interesting. Years ago when I modeled, like a billion years ago, I import modeled. So for like car modeling. So, but I traveled like all over the world doing this, and it was kind of a big thing. And somebody showed up with a car with my face airbrushed over his car. And
Wow.
I was like, that is so much dedication. Like it's so weird to see your whole face like spread across a car.
The size of a car hood.
Oh, weird. And I didn't know how to respond. I just remember thinking, oh, that I was never expecting that. So that's a bucket list.
That's something.
Were you just a little bit afraid when you saw that?
I mean, maybe, but also it wasn't that like crazy either uncommon, like in the car industry, like they have their own fan base. They love, their models and they're like, so like that wasn't, I'm sure that I was not the only one, which maybe is also weird. I don't know.
Well, we invited you back today because we very briefly touched on this in your first appearance, but you were the first woman involved in the Make Her Mark program on Hallmark, and your directorial Hallmark debut was for Shifting Gears. And you're back with a countdown to Christmas movie that will air on Hallmark Mystery on Thursday, October 24th. I think that is correct. Oh, good.
Yeah, we're the first.
You're the first Miracles of Christmas drop.
How exciting.
That is
what
so exciting.
We're the first. I think that's...
No, I think you're exactly right. Because it's the second week of Countdown to Christmas, and Miracles of Christmas doesn't start until that week. So your project is this time each year. Yes. We have 1 million questions to talk to you about this.
And I'm so excited for you guys to see this movie. I really am. I think we just did a little like baby screening for our cast and some of our, our internal crew, just so they could see the work and see what they were doing. And, I'm so proud of this movie. I think it's different than what you're going to be used to seeing. It deals with a different, stronger subject matter. Not that anybody can't watch it though. Like you can have your whole family can watch it and you don't have to stress. Nobody's getting, hurt in any way that way. But it's got heart, like real heart. And my whole goal as a director is to make you laugh and then cry. And when my best friend saw pieces of it, she was crying at the end. And I was so happy. I was like, I did it. She goes, I'm crying. And I was like, I know, it's great. It's beautiful.
Oh, we can't wait. We love stories that are real, like beyond the typical straight up Hallmark formula. So we are all in.
This is what they're doing that I love so much especially when I got this script. Because when I got this script, I was like, what? I've never seen this happen. I think what's so nice about the direction that Hallmark's taking is that we clearly understand why people tune into us, right? You want to have hope, and you want to feel good, and you want to feel loved and warm when you watch these. That's why people watch these, and so they can get some escape from the realities. But I do think that it's totally okay also to go a little bit deeper and really pull at those heartstrings, which Signed Sealed does beautifully.
Yeah.
We tackle really big subject matter here on Signed Sealed, but Martha does it in a way that never feels pointed, and it never feels painful. You can watch it and you work through your stuff. And for me, what I said to the crew when we first started at our meeting is like, Christmas, has really high suicide rates. Christmas has a lot of people that don't have anybody. Christmas has people that are missing their loved one for the first time. This is the time for us to come together, and what we do really matters for them. It gives them like a moment of peace to watch our film and feel good, or recognize their own relationship, or this is what we're doing here. We're not just making a Christmas movie. We are giving people a little piece of hope during a really difficult time. And so that's what I feel like we did with this, and I'm excited to watch.
Oh my God, I
feel like Wendy's gonna cry.
I am. I notoriously don't love the Christmas holidays, and watching a lot of like Christmas content can be very overwhelming to me, but I am really moved by this stories that like do something more, reach a deeper level, like you said. And now I just felt like I got like talked up by the coach. Like, I'm all in, I'm like, I want to work for you.
This
Crystal.
is your
like, yeah,
countdown to Christmas pep talk that you needed.
my pep talk.
Here's the thing: when I got the script, and for me, Christmas movie, it's a movie that takes place at Christmas. But the best Christmas movies, the ones that we love the most, were about humans and family and dynamics that just happen to take place around Christmas.
Yep.
Yes,
Home
ma'am.
Alone is like a funny Christmas movie that we can all watch. But again, that's about a family dynamic and a young boy growing into himself and finding his way of feeling like a middle child. And now he's on his own. He's got to survive. All of those themes would have been fine at Halloween too. Christmas is just a perfect place. So the heart of the story is always the human connection first. And then we place it with some really pretty lights. Because I'd like to make it and drops of snow. And I'm like, great, amazing. Then, but the heart is always the internal stuff that we're giving people.
I love it. I love that we're sitting here with a director who has like, we get to see what your vision is or hear what your vision is. And I can't wait to see it like play out on the screen. I'm so excited for you.
Thanks.
Speaking of the pieces that bring it together, I mean, Hallmark wasn't playing around with the cast that you were allowed to work with, you've got Ali Sweeney, you've got Niall Mater, you have Laura Soltis, like that. To me, as a viewer, I'm like, oh, they like her. Like, they're not giving those actors to just any director. So to me, I'm like, I'm so proud of Crystal, but for you, I mean, how was it working with these
pros?
Yes.
Well, so Niall and I were on the first series that I ever got a series regular on. And it's called Primeval New World. He was our number one. I played Toby Nance, and he played Evan something. I can't remember the name. So him and I have known each other for years and years and years and years. And when I found out I got him, it's so funny because he came to, I did a screening of Shifting Gears, like a small one for like friends and family. And he came because he was in town. And he came and watched it. And I was like, now I'm getting you next. I am getting you next. And he was like, okay. And then when this came up, I kind of laughed about it. And he's like, you weren't kidding. And I was like, no, I'm not kidding. Like I know what you can do. The thing with Niall is he has an emotional range that is, I can, that's what I'm looking for, while still being so masculine. Like, the guy's a real welder. He actually like builds cars on the side. Like, he's super, like, he's a dude in real life. He used to work on the oil rig. So he's like a real wise guy, but he's very, he is super empathetic and understanding, and he understands humans, and he cares a lot about, really going in, and he can play. You want to have an actor who is playful, and that's hard to describe because there's so many different types of actors, but some come in and they've got a plan, and usually they're really good at executing that plan, and that's great. But the ones that are dangerous and have magic are the ones that come in and will play. And they're like, well, here's what I thought it was. Let's try this. And so it was really great having him as the male lead in this.
I love dangerous as a compliment.
It is. Yeah, no, I always wanted to be a dangerous actor. And my acting teacher used to say that to me all the time. What's a dangerous actor? And she would say, it's the ones that you never know where those are the ones, the Sean Penns, the Viola Davises, the people that you're glued to the screen because you don't know where they're going to go. And I don't think they know because they're in it. Right. So like our job as an actor is to know the character fully, understand who this person is, and then let it all go and be completely in this moment with somebody else. Because that's the job. Like we're playing other people. It's the first time we've ever heard that information. That's the first time it's ever affected us. We have to do that multiple times in every movie and make it as real as possible. So the dangerous actors are the ones that I think you just can't stop watching them. So you're like, where are you going to go? Where are you going to go? Do you know? I don't know. You're just in it. And I just happen to be here watching this real life thing happening. That's what we're supposed to be doing.
I imagine Allie Sweeney to be this complete boss on set in the best way. Like I'm a longtime Days of Our Lives fan, and I feel like being a soap actor where it's almost like acting drills because you just do it day after day after for years on end. I think that creates a level of professionalism that other actors don't have the opportunity to access simply because they haven't had as much. You know what I'm saying here. I'm not knocking anyone who hasn't been a soap actor, but I think there's something really special about someone who's done thousands of episodes of a show.
Yeah.
And so I just imagine that she is just a boss on set, and I need you to confirm that for me.
You are 100% right. Allie suffers no fools because Allie knows what she's talking about. The thing with Allie that I love the most is she actually knows what she's talking about. She writes. She wrote this. She was one of the writers on this. We sat and workshopped it the Friday before we went to camera. Her, me, and Niall sat and they did a read through. We did the whole thing. I just read what other parts were missing, and we workshopped this thing, this script for like 3 hours, 4 hours. Putting in our own personal stuff. There were so many layers and layers and layers of stuff that we put in there, and she's totally open to it. And she's not just like an executive producer, meaning like I got a credit saying I produce. She's actually an executive producer. She's in every single meeting. She's at every single thing. She's show running, really. And I don't know if you know the difference because it's confusing for everybody that's not in our industry, but showrunners are typically the writers, and they typically run series. They what Martha does, oversee. So really in these movies, even in this, she's technically show running. And that's amazing to watch, but she's super collaborative. She just doesn't let her work ethic is like here,
Yeah.
So if your work ethic is not there, you're going to be like, it's going to make you step up your game. I am a crazy person. So I'm also crazy like that. And halfway through filming this, she gave me a great compliment. She came up and said, sometimes I just have to be on here all the time, step on my mark, make sure everyone's going. And she goes, I realized halfway with you that I have to do that because you're already doing it. And I was like, oh yeah, no, I'm already crazy. Like, you're good. My whole goal with Allie on this movie was to give her the space to just act when she was on set. My goal is to, show you that it's okay for you to just breathe and I got you. And you don't have to be doing every single thing all the time. Just lean into what you are supposed to do right now, which is be present with Niall and to give her that. And we definitely got that, which was great.
That's rad. Cause you can be like, I got your back, Allie. I will handle this stuff. You can just, like you said, like lean into what you love doing, your passion, your what's in front of us. Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, it's funny, we talk about like marriages because work is kind of like a marriage, and I think of myself as a boss woman too. I've always worked. I've always had businesses. I will always run things. It's how I'm built. But my partner, it's not that I need them to come in, but I really deserve them to come in. It's the same with my husband. I'm like, do I need you to come and step up and do all this? No, but I deserve it. And when he says to me, I know you don't need it, but I want to help you. I want to give you the space to breathe. You're allowed to have that. That's what I want to do in my relationship with my work wife, which is Allie on this, and we got to that space, which was really nice.
I'm going to start using the I deserve this line in my mind because I am not good at believing that about myself. So that is drilled in.
well, we're human and like we can do everything, but we shouldn't have to do every single thing all the time. And it is hard for me. I am a lone wolf because usually that stems from, being disappointed many times. So you do it on your own so you don't get disappointed. But I think that the more we grow, the better we get at choosing people that are we know actually have our back. So that's what my theory is anyways.
So you had a child on set, Ezra Wilson, playing the role of the couple's young son. Now, you're a mom, so you're not like a stranger to children.
No.
But what was it like directing a child actor? How was that for you?
Like directing my own children. They're really cute. They listen most of the time, and they're just trying to eat the candy. I mean, like that's usually everywhere I go. I mean, my children are so small. I have an 8-year-old and a 2-year-old, so I'm like in the thick of it. So having another 8-year-old on set is like same. It's something that was really funny when I started directing. My friend said to me, you're going to get really annoyed with everybody asking you questions all the time. And I was like, no, I'm not. I could not get more annoyed than mom.
Yeah, right.
Just every second of my life. So that doesn't annoy me. And so working with him was fine, great. He's super cute. He did a great job on our set. Did he eat too much of the gingerbread stuff one of the days? Yes. Did we have to say, Ezra, stop eating those gingerbread things? Yes. But he's 8.
Yeah.
What do you want him to do? He's good. I mean,
he's 8 and he's good at it.
100%. Yeah, no, he did a really good job. And I think people are going to really love him. He just had, when we were casting for that, we were really just looking for a kind of really organic, it's hard with kids because you don't want to be too coached. And then you don't want to be not coached enough. Like, and if they're too coached, sometimes it doesn't feel as raw. And, we were really looking for that. And we really found it in him.
You have been given the opportunity to work alongside, obviously, we've talked about this whole time, some amazing actors. Do you have a dream partnership or multiple dream partnerships?
Oh, of actors that I want to work with?
Yeah, as a director.
Oh my God. Like in Hallmark world or in?
Oh yeah, let's go anywhere with it. Unless you need me to make it narrow.
Well, obviously, Ashley Williams I want to work with in our world because I'm dying to direct her. I love directing comedy and I'm dying to direct her. So because, it's just like such a fun full circle turn of events. So that would be brilliant. I want to keep working with Allie forever, which I hopefully will, unless I really mess this one up. Because she's just the bestest ever. And the Hallmark list of Andrew Walker is such a lovely dude. He's so sweet. I would love to work with him. And I met Nikki Deloche recently. She was great. I would love to work with any of them. In like Hollywood world that's outside of our box. Oh, I mean, Viola Davis is my queen. Like there's no she's the real deal. Like that is who I also love is Barry Keoghan. After I saw Saltburn, I was like, oh, this guy can act. That movie is intense, but he's good. Like that's real. All that's raw. Everything is, his eyes are open. You see everything and he's not afraid to show everything. But like internally, he's not afraid to show everything. And that for me is what I'm always looking for, to work with people. To see.
He's hot right now.
He is.
Yeah.
Real
I mean, the thing is, it's funny because I am an actor as well and love working with actors. I love working with raw talent. But it's not as, I come from that world, it's like a mechanic being like, cool, I'd like to meet a mechanic, but I am I love learning so much. Like I'm obsessed with learning about new things. I want you to break down everything for me. So for me, it's like, I would really love to work with some interesting DPs.
Yeah.
For Moonlight. I can't remember his name right now. I want to work with that guy. Or I want to shadow Barry Jenkins. I want to be like, how are you doing that? What's happening? How do we create this world? And production designers, Wes Anderson's, like those people that I'm dying to sit and watch somebody like Wes Anderson create. His aesthetic isn't even always my aesthetic, but his aesthetic is so specific and clear. My goal as a director is that every time you see one of my films, you go, oh, that's Crystal's movie. I can see it.
Mhm.
She's all over it. Baz Luhrmann, you know, but that you don't even need to,
Yeah.
it's his vision and it's his voice and it's so clearly him. And that's what I'm trying to develop. What happened? Is there a ghost? You just
No,
what
my
was
little
that?
dog is trying
Oh,
to get into
Can
the
you see him?
pantry where there are treats, and he is knocking on the can you see him right there?
yeah, he's so
He's knocking on
cute.
the pantry door like, "Hey, lady,
I've never
the
seen
treats
him
are
do
in
that.
here."
That's wild. Wow.
We have a few, trusted postables who sent in a few
Aw.
questions,
Yeah, I miss
um,
vegetables.
and they wanna know, first and foremost, you know the question, is there anything you can tease about our next Signed, Sealed, Delivered movie? Do you
Oh,
have any intel on when that might air?
I don't know when it's gonna air. I that I don't know. What I do know is that they're gonna really like this next one
Oh, good.
a lot. I love this next one. You know,
Oh,
I think
exciting.
it's
Is there a baby in it?
what?
You're saying
All right.
But I just think that the next one has such a has really great acting in it. And I loved the storyline. I thought it was really fun and interesting and it's gonna keep you on your toes. Um, and there's a lot more fun and funny development with, the Fantastic Fabulous Four. God, the four of us are just such a funny to think, we've been doing this for so long and we're such a weird family. Like, even we were shooting a scene. I remember this in the next one that's coming up. And Boothie and Eric are sitting next to each other, and I'm sitting next to Gigi, and I'm like, and I immediately go into like being his wife. Like it's so weird. And she immediately goes into being Eric's wife, and he doesn't say like we've just been together for so long. And if you were looking from the outside in and never met us, you would just think I was Gigi's wife. Like, because we just go into like we
Uh-huh.
sit next to each other. My hand's here, he's hugging me, and we're talking, and I'm like, this is weird. This is so weird. And it turns on, and then we're done the show, and we're like, bye, love you, see you next time. We get back together immediately. Okay, I'm Rita, and you're Norma. It could be 4 years, 5 years, and we still just fall into these roles. It's really they've become a part of us,
Yeah.
and it's fascinating for me, which really is.
My favorite scene from A Tale of Three Letters is when you're sitting in the restaurant and you share the sonogram picture because the four of you are sitting together, and I was like, "Oh, this is the show that I love. It's the four of them and the
Mhm.
family that they are." And I was like, the warmth at the table, I'm like, those are real friends, like
Yeah,
sharing this moment.
yeah.
I loved that scene.
Well, and we because it's been so long, and we all joke about this, like we're such a dysfunctional family. Um, we've had real fights in real life. We've had real makeups in real life. We've had gone through divorces together. We've gone through marriages. We've gone through people having children together. So like we have been through 11 years with each other, and so it's so much more. It's when the four of us get together, it is a weird. We just it just all happens because we've survived so much together, and to be on a show for this
Mhm.
length is almost impossible. No shows run this long.
Yeah.
People are shocked, you know. Through hell and high water, we still have each other, and it's a really you can feel it on screen. It's a connection, I think, between the four of us. It was like that in the pilot too. It was weird in the
Mm.
pilot. Like Scott Smith had us do this exercise. I think we talked about it last time when we all like, I'm going to do stupid drama school exercise and like rolled our eyes. And then we did it, but it worked. Like he had us all go in there and just walk around the room as our characters.
Mm.
So we had to interact with each other as our characters. And I, at that point, didn't really know who Rita was yet fully. I had an idea. But I just started like doing this stuff and then pulling Eric and Boothie together and talking to Norman, and like the mannerisms kind of started happening there. Then Gene started doing his. It was really fascinating, and in that room after that exercise, it was like, oh, okay, we all know who each other are. The best part of Martha's writing too is that each of our characters, the four of us, are very specific, right?
Mm.
Like no character is the same. We are totally opposite, but we're in the same world, and we all like the same thing for different reasons. That's what makes the ensemble so good. That's what makes Friends so good. when you watched Friends.
Mhm.
What a multicam like Friends is, you have all these different types of people all in the same place reacting in a different way. Ross reacts anxiously. We're dying for Ross to pull off the anxious and show us. Joey reacts like a cool guy. That's how he pulls it off. But each of them are very different. And then they're put in a situational comedy. And I do think that comes from Martha's writing, and then us just being allowed to flesh those characters out as much as we can.
Do you have any interest in directing a series?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
My 10-year plan.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you guys this. I had a meeting with all the people at Hallmark, and it was a really funny meeting because I said, my 10-year plan is to show run. And I said, and I know Randy Pope, who is, high up, is shaking his head right now because I just started directing. And I have been bugging him for 10 years, and he's like, not again. You just started directing. I'm like, I know, but I want to run my own show. My 10-year plan, my dream, my goals are to be in a show that I created that I also and acting in. But I'd probably play the side character. I'd play like the weird, funny person that comes in, or some character that does 4 episodes out of a 10 episode arc, and then I would direct 5 of them and I would run the show. Those are my goals.
Oh my God.
I can't wait.
I'm rooting for you. I want it to happen. Who can I send an email to?
Thank you.
Seriously.
And
that would be amazing.
Well, the only way to do it is just to keep doing it. That's how what I've been telling myself anyways. So whenever I'm not directing, I sign back up for my writing class. I go back to Groundlings. I suck so bad sometimes at Groundlings, but it's the best.
That seems like the most terrifying experience to me.
Yeah, but bombing is crucial for our business, and I think for life. Like getting up and not being good at something and then getting back up again and trying it again is what tricks your brain or teaches your brain that you can learn anything if you just keep getting up. Because the first time I went to Groundlings, it was not good. I hate not being good at something, but I am a personality that if you tell me I can't do it, I'll come back 5,000 times to show that I can. And I will work my way through. So, I just think if anybody is listening to this and you're thinking about doing something that terrifies you, just jump in, but take the pressure off yourself and let yourself bomb over and over and over until the bombing doesn't matter anymore, until the bombing becomes funny. Once it's funny, you don't care anymore. So now you're just having fun. And that's when real growth happens, I think.
Yeah, that perfectionism piece for people, like, I'm going to create something that's going to be great. It's probably not. It's not going to be great.
No. And it's okay.
And I acknowledging that right up front. We're in college essay writing season with my son. And like the idea that you'd have to revise something, I'm like, this is not bad. But every single professional writer has an editor. So I just need you to hear this.
Yeah, it's true.
So
and the vomit draft, which is a Judd Apatow thing, right? He talked about, I have such a hard time with that too, because writing is the most painful for me, but it's I feel most vulnerable when I'm writing.
Mm-hmm.
Writing is like I'm putting my whole little heart and soul in there, and you're getting to see all the inside stuff that I feel and all my insecurities and all my and then it's just up there. When I put it on the screen, I'm like, oh, that's all of my feelings. What if I'm exposed? What if I'm Tuesday? That freaks me out. So I have a perfectionist complex with that I'm working on by just taking as many classes as I can until I get over myself.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm so excited for you. Now that you have placed this nugget out there, I was like, okay, well, when is that going to happen? When are we going to see that? I need Hallmark to make that happen. Give that to you.
Well, let's fingers crossed. I definitely want to get into series directing. People have asked if I want to direct a Signed Sealed. People always ask that. That one, I don't know. Yeah, I can't imagine being dressed as Rita and then running to the monitor.
Yeah, talk about having to switch faces so quickly.
Yeah, I mean, and that would be. Although it would be, I would love to direct Boothie. I mean, I hope I get to do a film with her.
Yes,
soon. Another. Because shifting.
Do you have any confidence level in Hallmark ordering additional Signed Sealed after our next movie?
Yeah.
Oh,
I do.
Cool.
I think that there's a high likelihood, Who knows? The universe throws weird stuff at me, but I'm not discounting it at all. I think our fan base is strong, and I think that it's only because of our fan base that are fighting the way that they fight, and they show up, and they show up, and they show up, and we're kind of that inch by inch, we're that quiet little thing that just kept moving and kept growing because our fan base seems to be growing, which is super weird because we're so inconsistently, filming these movies, but people are resonating with them. And I think I have hopes for the future, and I would definitely do another one for sure. We all would.
I think the fan base rocks. Like, they were so welcoming to us over the summer when we did our review of the entire series, and just welcomed us in. And we always joke that they could like teach a master class on the series because they know everything, the ins and outs of stuff. So they were awesome.
Yeah. I know we would get emails and I'd be like, please remember, we've only seen this one time. Like, you've watched this 17 times, right? So like the level of detail and the level of like, I've read every blog post written about this episode was amazing because they would send us that information. But I was like, this is like a first reaction to this.
First pass. Yeah. Give me a friend. But the postables are not like, I've been in other shows where also some fans are, they get really agitated with each other. I don't know why. They like in-house fighting. I don't find that with our fans as much. Our fans are pretty, because our show preaches like to be loving towards each other. So you can't really love the show and then be crappy to somebody. That's like completely against how Norman and Rita would handle anything. So I do love our fans for that a lot. They're awesome. So supportive.
Do you have the next project already lined up after that?
No, but I will be in Kansas City with the Christmas Con from December 12th to the 16th at the Kansas Hallmark Christmas Con.
We're the next weekend.
We're going to, but
really?
I'm so upset.
We're going the 20th.
We're ships in a night. I'm gonna miss you guys.
I know. Oh, that'll be so fun. I'm so glad you get to be there.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. And then this our movie, this time each year, you got. I mean, did you get the premise? Did they anyone share with you what it's about? I would say that this is about a couple who's separated, and this is their first Christmas as a separated couple, trying to figure out and navigate what to do because they have a son, and
so many people are going to see themselves in that story. I love it. Yeah, I think Hallmark has been a little bit like they're afraid sometimes to tell those stories. Like, we get maybe one a year. Like Cranberry Christmas was like a toe in the divorced couple, but no children water. Like, it was
right.
Yeah. So I love it.
Really, there's real conflict in this movie. There is real emotions in this movie. The acting is top notch. I was able to let my actors really lean in and do the work, and it pays off, and this is the opening was something that we came up with that I actually imagined in too much information, but in the shower when I was pulling my hair out trying to figure out a cool way to make this opening work and to do it. And I did a little pitch to Allie, and she was like, I love this idea. And so the opening is super cool. It's not your typical opening, which I think is fun. There's a real feel, and the family dynamic. There's little nods to John Hughes movies in there, and in some of the ending, and there's just lots of little fun treats for you guys to see. And there's an Easter egg, so if you watch it, you might see a little Easter egg, fun little cameo.
I can't wait.
But you can watch it.
Wait, a fun little cameo?
Yes, maybe.
I have guesses. I can't wait. Well, you're active on social media. Where can people find you and keep up with you?
I'm on Instagram.
Between projects.
I haven't been on there in a little while just because I've been trying to, when I'm not working, I've been trying to stay off it so I can stay with my children who are getting agitated with me, and they apparently like me. So I want to hang out with them while they still like me. Yeah, apparently for the first 10 years, right? And then they're out. So I've got a couple of years left with both of them. But Real Crystal Lowe Official Crystal Lowe. Oh my God, I don't even know my own handles. Official Crystal Lowe on Instagram. And I'll be updating while I'm shooting.
Thank you so much for joining us again. This is such a treat.
Thank you for having me.
No, we're so glad.
You guys are fantastic.
Thank you
I mean,
so
you let me
much.
and Christy talk for hours last time. I was like, man, we just talked this entire time. So thank you for allowing us to do that on your
Oh, people loved it. We loved it.
it.
I was like, I could just listen to you talk. You guys were amazing. Thank you to everybody who listened to this
Mhm.
episode. As a reminder, this is available on video on our YouTube, which is linked in our show notes. You can watch it there. And tune in to this time each year, Thursday, October 24th on Hallmark Mystery on the Miracles of Christmas lineup. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.